Hello, my name is Naive Libertarian Politics, and today we'll be doing episode 15, part 1 of the History of the Republican Party series. And in this episode, we will be covering, in my opinion, the reasons why 2008 and 2012 were losses for the Republican Party and victories for the Republican or Democrat Party by sizable margins. So yeah, let's get straight into it. So first we have the six-party system webpage article on Wikipedia, because that's the party system we are in real life and in this series. So first we have the 2008 presidential election. So you could say here that in 2008 it could be based on who they nominated, and while that's not necessarily wrong, it's possible that had they nominated someone else, like maybe Ron Paul, it's more likely in 2012. But if they nominated someone else, they could have done far better, and they could have maybe even won. But in my opinion, the fact is that from the 90s on, the Republicans were pushing out not very electable candidates. Bob Dole, George W. Bush. George W. Bush, in my opinion, was not that electable of a candidate. They kept pushing out these unelectable candidates, but because the Republican Party was the party of big business, as people like to say, they would keep winning because they had the support of the establishment, and really from the 2000s onward, you really saw a movement of the establishment away from the Republican Party and towards the Democratic Party, which exists today in the form of all the media and stuff like this. You can see that the Republicans, they had trouble winning, and because they had followed the formula, they followed the equation of having an unelectable candidate, but having an establishment that supported them. But they took out the establishment that supported them, so they just had an unelectable candidate. And while John McCain is not that unelectable, he was not the most electable that they could have chosen. But they lost because they chose unelectable candidates, and before they could choose unelectable candidates, because they had support of the establishment, and now they did not have that support, but they still were putting out unelectable candidates, these moderate rhinos, which made it very hard for them to win. And yeah. So in 2004, they did that, and they got what was going to happen, and that was a loss. And in 2012, they do the same thing, and they perform slightly better. They perform only slightly better, or they perform better by around 30 electoral votes, but it's still not the best. They still lose by over 100 electoral votes, really like 160 electoral votes, because Mitt Romney is not a very electable candidate. He is not very electable. He is a rhino, he is a moderate, and he is not very electable. That was the problem with the Republican Party. And yeah, they put out unelectable candidates, and that would cause them to lose. And the Republican Party, they had support of they used to have support of the establishment with George H.W. Bush and Bob Dole and George W. Bush, but they had lost that support of the establishment, and it moved towards the Democrats, and they because they had lost that, they were still treating themselves like they had that support, so they would still push out less electable candidates, and they would lose because they did not have that same support from the establishment, and that would create a situation where the Republicans had really only the grassroots Republican support across. You can see like around here, but they really only had the grassroots Republican support, while the Democrats had their Democratic supporters who believed they were the party of the people. So they had the popular support, and they also had the establishment support. So it creates a system where it's stacked against the Democrats. And that culminated in 2008 and 2012, which that's at least my opinion. So yeah. This is just like the a little bit of a .5 episode, you could say, of this series. Um, Tomorrow there will be a video that'll be the other half, which will be talking about Barack Obama's presidency and what he did. But yeah. So as always, this is just my opinion. My name is Naive Libertarian Politics, so take everything I say with a grain of salt. I've been trying to make videos every day. Expect another video tomorrow. I've been moderately successful with this, but there's usually been a video for every single day I've been making videos. So yeah. Yeah. So make sure to like, subscribe, and or thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.